gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's get into the video.
Your reporting was extremely accurate. There were no cameras installed anywhere.
New tonight and only on CBS 46, new surveillance cameras added to one of Atlanta's busiest parks.
It comes 9 months after the unsolved murder of Katie Jeunesse and her dog Bowie in Piedmont Park. In the wake of their deaths, Atlanta City Council approved legislation to try to enhance safety measures.
Wow. So 9 months later, in order to solve these issues that are coming from these super gremlins on demon time, we got cameras in Piedmont Park. And although that would definitely help find the people who are doing these things, or the super gremlins rather, who are doing these things, I don't really think it's going to be much of a deterrent. Okay? Because these dudes don't care if they get caught on camera. Demon time is demon time.
It included installing surveillance cameras in 20 city-owned parks, but as investigative reporter Rachel Polanski uncovered, rollout much slower than expected.
And after she started asking questions, the cameras are up. Rachel joining us now live from Piedmont Park. All right, give us the latest, Rachel.
Good evening. You know, I was here at Piedmont Park last weekend when I noticed this surveillance camera that looked fairly new. So I reached out to Parks and Rec and they confirmed that yes, they have begun installing cameras across our city parks.
Please help.
You said somebody's dead at Piedmont Park?
Yes, sir.
9 months after this 911 call, no suspects have been publicly identified in the July stabbing death of 40-year-old Katie Jeunesse.
No suspects. None. Zip. Community silent. And we may figure out who this is 10, 20 years from now, or maybe we won't at all. Who knows? But it's definitely getting wild in the A.
At Piedmont Park.
Sir, I'm at the entrance of Piedmont Park. I just was searching for my girlfriend's purse because I couldn't find her. She's dead. She's here at Piedmont Park.
And just a few days before that, police responded to the shooting death of 17-year-old Jakari Dillard at Anderson Park.
He was a very selfless person. Like, he put everybody before him.
That's when Atlanta City Council tasked the Department of Parks and Recreation and the police department with evaluating, developing, and eventually implementing surveillance cameras in these 20 city-owned parks. Fast forward to April, that installation process has begun, and park goers are taking notice.
They needed to have it a long time ago, because maybe this murder could have been solved a long time ago if they did. But, you know, we never know.
CBS 46 investigates counted.
So she knew not to say, oh, maybe this could have been prevented. Okay? The cameras ain't gonna stop nothing. These super gremlins are out for blood. So it doesn't matter if they're being watched. As a matter of fact, they might even invite it.
At least 3 visible surveillance cameras, with the Department of Parks and Rec telling us more than 30 cameras are now active in Piedmont Park.
It should have been before that, but yes, I'm really glad that they're here. It makes everybody feel safer.
Well, I'm relieved that it's actually starting to happen.
So feeling safe and being safe are two very different things.
And Michael Bond, who's voiced his frustrations over the city's slow rollout, tells me Piedmont is the first park to have new cameras installed, adding that they're already plugged into the city's Video Integration Center, which means they're currently being monitored by Atlanta police.
Citizens have been demanding it the entire time, and so we're really pleased that it's finally starting to happen almost a year later.
And the mayor's office tells us that Parks and Rec is still in the process of installing those cameras across our city parks, adding that nearly 200 have already been installed since the death of Katie Jeunesse. Reporting live in Piedmont Park tonight, I'm Rachel Polanski, CBS 46 News.
And develop
Atlanta City Court is facing a problem that's gotten much worse in the past 4 years. Channel 2 investigative reporter found out that tens of thousands of defendants charged with traffic offenses or minor crimes simply don't bother to show up for court. Channel 2.
So here you go. This is your criminal justice reform. Okay? These quote-unquote minor offenses, they add up. And people are starting to realize, especially in the city of Atlanta, that, hey, I can go to this barrier. It's like if you draw a line in the sand. These super gremlins are going to hop back and forth across that line of, you know, what is acceptable and what's not acceptable. And if they're getting away with hopping back over that line on the unacceptable side, they're going to continue to do it because they see that there are no real consequences, especially for something that is, quote unquote, a minor offense. And then they start to realize that, hey, you may get preferential treatment or lax treatment on a major offense as well. And that's where we're at today.
2's Richard Belcher is live at City Hall in downtown. Richard.
Yeah, set aside the times when the city court was completely shut down, first for a cyber attack, later for COVID. Records reviewed by Channel 2 revealed that the number of FTAs, the people who failed to appear for a scheduled court appearance, is up 80% in the 4 years since the city passed a new bail reform law.
80% FTA, or failure to appear, since the city has passed the bail reform law. These super gremlins are on demon time.
One of the council members who voted for that law says he now regrets it.
The bail reform law that we passed in 18, it simply doesn't work.
These people are idiots, man. Idiots. Buddy over here looking like Jabba the Hutt. It's getting weird, y'all.
Michael Julian Bond and every other council member supported the law pushed by then-Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms. It did away with the requirement to post cash bond on...
Look what this sister did, man. She did some real damage to the city of Atlanta. She did some real damage to the city of Atlanta. Keisha Lance Bottoms. She did some real damage to the city of Atlanta. So now it's a poor reflection on Andre Dickens if he doesn't pretty much reverse everything that she did. She destroyed the city. I mean, it was already, you know, kind of hot, kind of not. But ever since she was in office, she has literally pushed this woke criminal justice reform agenda that has made Atlanta damn near unbearable, especially for black men. Okay? We're the #1 victims of these super gremlins on demon time. Okay? The #1 cause of death of black men between 18 and 24 is getting clapped by a super gremlin.
It did away with the requirement to post cash bond on city offenses, a move popular with political progressives. But Councilman Bond says it shifted the responsibility for releasing people to the city jail.
Yeah, no shit.
And did away with established court-based programs to evaluate people before letting them sign their own bonds.
They would follow up with the individuals to make sure that they came to court. You know, they would track the folks that they were allowed to, you know, sign their own bond. As soon as we passed that law in 2018, all of that went out of the window.
Rashida Davis, the administrator here in municipal court, emailed Channel 2 that the court has a zero-tolerance policy for no-show defendants here.
Yeah, right. Rashida, we don't believe you. I'm sorry, Rashida, but we don't believe you.
but the numbers tell us a lot of defendants are ignoring that. Just before the city changed the cash bond policy, about 2,400 people skipped court each month. In the 14 months after the court reopened post-pandemic, about 4,300 people skipped each month, an increase of 80%.
If you've got at least half to two-thirds of the people who are not showing up, you're not having justice met in Atlanta.
Yeah, of course. How could you not have seen this before y'all passed this bill? You opened up a gateway of lawlessness. And I don't think that you can put these super gremlins back in the box.
Court Administrator Rashida Davis says under the zero tolerance policy, the court has issued failure to appear warrants for approximately 8,000 people this year, and about 10,000 have been referred to the state for suspension of their driving licenses. Councilman Bond says the city should also make it harder for some defendants to sign their own bonds.
If they're a proven risk, then they should forfeit the ability to sign their own bond.
Mayor Dickens' press secretary Michael Smith emailed today the quote, "The mayor is focused on reducing violent crime, particularly ensuring repeat violent offenders are brought to justice. The elimination of cash bond was for non-violent offenders, mainly traffic and quality of life citations," end quote. No mention in the statement about the rising number of people who get a ticket or a reason to go to court and just don't show up. Live at City Hall, Richard Belcher, Channel 2 Action.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Frederick Douglass, where a shooting just took place. And as you can see, it's a pretty rough area. So I'm basically risking my life reporting on this madness. So make sure you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Like the video, hell, share the video. And make sure you go ahead and leave a comment down in the comments section to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this son violence in the streets. I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
Police in DeKalb County are still on the hunt for a gunman accused of shooting an 11-year-old boy over the weekend.
Now a local businessman is facing a financial reward for information leading to an arrest. Fox 5's Portia Bruner is live in DeKalb with the latest. Portia?
Yeah, the family of Damari Johnson tells me this afternoon he's still fighting, still holding on after he was shot here Saturday night at Golden Glide.
Wow. You got an 11-year-old boy fighting for his life, tried to go to the skating rink, just have a good time. And guys, I love the skating rink, but I won't be caught dead at a skating rink in the community.
Sunday after midnight, as police had initially reported, but they're now saying it was actually Saturday night, just after 11. A police chief also telling me that they're working some good leads, some leads that take them in different directions. But they say they still need tips from the public, and that's why a prominent Atlanta businessman is stepping up to help. Loved ones tell me 11-year-old Damari Johnson is still holding on and fighting to recover from the gunshot wound to his head suffered Saturday night at the hands of a young gunman who remains on the run.
Wow. What the? This is wild, man.
DeKalb Police Chief Mirtha Ramos says she's grateful little Damari is still pulling through and says her detectives are still working some very strong leads into the shooting at Golden Glide skating rink, a crime partially captured on video that's been reposted on Damari's mother's Instagram page. Do you have a good sense of who you are looking for at this point, and it's just a matter of locating the person?
We do have a good sense of who we're looking for. We're just trying to connect all of the dots.
And the police chief is an Afro-Latina sister. No wonder DeKalb County is the way it is.
Money motivates people. It's an unfortunate reality, but it's a real reality.
Dr. Rashad Ritchie is a university professor and a radio show host on News Talk 1380 WAOK. He says he remembers skating as a teenager at Golden Glide and says he was disgusted to hear about the mayhem Saturday night that led.
And this Rashad guy, he's super woke. Super woke. So he's definitely like he's like a Hotep blackety black type figure. So it's funny to me how these guys are like this, and now he's like, oh, money is a big motivator for you to turn somebody in. Like, oh man.
Left a 5th grader fighting for his life and a young shooting suspect at large. Wednesday, the multimedia business owner decided to put up a $10,000 reward to generate more solid tips to help police connect the dots.
Everybody should be on the same page when we talk about children and how this kind of violence cannot be tolerated on any level.
Well, Rashad, you need to come check my channel out, because this happens all the time. This is not a new phenomenon, okay? This is regular community demon time activities.
So I'm not just calling for those who are law-abiding citizens to speak up. I'm calling for criminals to speak up. I'm calling for drug dealers to speak up.
Good luck with that, bruh. Good luck with that. He's asking the super gremlins. He's asking the super gremlins to snitch on themselves. And this brother, he has 344,000 subscribers on YouTube. But honestly, he's not really getting that many views. You know, he gets decent views. But anyways, he's super woke. Okay? Super woke. And this is the first time I've heard him speak up about violence in the community. Most of the time he's talking about racism and Karens and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, it's the fact that this one made him speak up is pretty surprising.
I'm calling for those who would care less about doing the right thing to speak up for this, because this is something that everybody should be outraged by.
That makes no sense. To ask the people who would care less, who are probably smoking blunts dedicated to this little boy, praying for his downfall so they can actually tack it on their list of catching a body. You're asking those guys to say something? You're very out of touch with the community, bro. And I'm telling you this from, you know, from me to you. You're very out of touch with the community.
Chief Ramos telling me she's grateful that Dr. Ritchie decided to post that $10,000 reward. She says she hates to see that it has to come to that, but certainly hopes that it generates the type of leads that will lead to an arrest. The number she wants people to call with tips, the DeKalb County Police tip line, 770-724-7850. That number, just one more time, 770-724-7850. Reporting live in South DeKalb County, Portia Bruner, Fox 5 News.
Better understanding of security at a DeKalb County skating rink after an 11-year-old boy was shot in the head as a fight spilled outside the rink. We have been trying to speak to the rink owner to address parent safety concerns with this video on social media.
Dude, and they're trying to blame the skating rink owner. Who thinks that this, like, have y'all been to a skating rink? It's literally little kids who go to the skating rink usually, and teens. Okay, they sometimes have a teen night in the city that I'm at. Like, they sometimes have teen nights, but usually it's it's like kids. So what are you gonna do? Put somebody out there with a gun and patting down kids? If you're in the community, I guess that's what you got to start doing.
Media showing the chaos in the parking lot as those shots were fired. And while some want the rink to close, others argue it should stay open with better security measures. Tracy Amick-Pierre live at the Golden Glide in Decatur right now with much more. Tracy?
Well, today I spoke with a mother who says her own son was injured in a fight out here just a few weeks ago. But this skating rink has long been a popular hangout for Metro teens. So she says she wants to see it stay open with some new security measures in place.
When I was younger, you know, coming up, we grew up here in Atlanta, and this was the place that we would go on the weekends.
Tamrika Howell grew up in DeKalb County, where she says all the teens would get their parents to drop them off at the Golden Glide skating rink.
It's something to do. Everybody's skating, gliding, and dancing.
But now, after 11-year-old Damari Johnson was shot outside the Golden Glide on Saturday, she feels the rink isn't safe for her own kids.
While they're there inside, they're supervised, there's security inside. You know, there's adult supervision, but once they get out here, it's no type of supervision.
Howell says she's seen metal detectors and security inside the rink. But the problem is when kids leave and wait for their parents outside. She suggested more security cameras could act as a deterrent.
For the entire parking lot, because not only but they're purposely pushing the kids off the property.
Or having a designated pickup zone, like there was when she was a teen.
They're still blaming the venue. What do you want them to do? They can't say anything to these super gremlins. They will literally kill them. They'll kill them. Hey, man, you know, skating rinks closed. Everybody go home. Get your rides. Get your Ubers. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. Boom. GSW to the dome.
Parent would come through, pick you up, you would get in the car and leave. No one was allowed to leave that area.
Howell also says ultimately parents should be accountable for their kids.
Because there's no 100% guaranteed way to ensure that your child will not get hurt without you being there. So definitely stick with your children.
Now tonight, the 11-year-old who was shot, Damari Johnson, he is still in a coma in the hospital. As
Jesus Christ. I'm telling you, these super gremlins are on demon time.
As police continue to search for the gunman. Now, we reached out to the owner of the skating rink to ask him about parents' safety concerns, but he declined to comment.
All right, guys. So I wanted to do this story because the Hawks had a game tonight, and Miles Bridges was at the game, and he decided to show his behind, and he gets ejected from the game. Obviously, ATL is going in. We doing our thing. We got Trey Young, Trigger Trey, shooting Trey balls all night. And he gets mad for some reason, and he gets teed up and ejected out of the game. But what he does after being ejected is definitely noteworthy to classify him as a super gremlin on demon time.
Oh, they're going to say a goaltend, but that's leadership. Oh, he just got teed up.
So he is running up to the ref trying to fight. And I get it. You're in a heated game. Your adrenaline's going. You're upset. You think that it was a wrong call, so you buck up at the ref. You get teed up. That's fine. But he's going at the ref like he's going to knock him out. Look at his trajectory.
Oh, they're going to say
straight to the ref, fist balled up, bowed up, like he's about to sock the ref in the face.
Goaltend, but that's leadership. Oh, he just got teed up. You got to be careful, and just got thrown out. Multiple technicals, automatic ejection.
This is what a lot of dudes do too. They start walking away from the fight, and then they get even madder and start like, oh, okay, F it. I'm going to pull my shirt up and then buck up at the, like, bruh.
Bridges' frustration.
Coach is holding them back. You're really that mad?
To get him away.
So watch, he's going through the tunnel to go to the locker room, and watch what he does.
Oh, Bridges, who's one of the candidates. Oh.
Y'all see that? So the fan is heckling him, and he gets mad and takes his mouthpiece out and throws it at a fan. And he meant to hit the glider man who was heckling him, I guess, but he ended up hitting a young glider girl. So watch this.
Oh, Bridges.
For one, he almost hit this Asian lady right here. And he's mad that this Hawks fan right here is saying bye-bye. 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 Y'all getting blowed out by the Hawks. Bye-bye. Not in ATL. Not in the A. You're not getting that dub. So what he do, watch this. Watch what he does. I said what he do. Watch what he does. The super gremlin in me was coming out. So here we go. Boom. Throws the mouthpiece. Smacks the glider girl right in the face. Bow.
Who's one of the candidates. Ooh. Oh, a fan giving.
Look, the heckler's lit. And then they get mad at him when you should be mad at Myles Garrett.
Candidates.
And he almost hits the Asian lady when he swings his hand. Look, I mean, this guy has a, I don't know, his wingspan is freaking long as 7 foot. I don't know. Long wingspan. So watch how he almost slaps this Asian lady while throwing the mouthpiece in the middle of a pandemic. In the middle of a pandemic, you're throwing your saliva-infested mouthpiece at a fan. I don't care if you were trying to hit this man or not. You missed. And that's probably why you're so mad, because you kept missing shots in the game. So he almost slaps the Asian lady, and he hits the young glider girl with the mouthpiece.
Who's one of the candidates. Oh.
And then I see on Twitter or on Instagram, he talking about some, oh, let me, he said something about, can somebody give me the information of the young girl? That's unacceptable. Like, bro, what? Bro, look what you did, bro. That was just some like lame, super lame stuff. He says, somebody get me in contact with the young lady. That's unacceptable. Like, what, bro? In the middle of a pandemic, you throwing your mouth guard. It's disgusting, bruh. Trying to tell you, these super gremlins are on demon time.
Who's one of the candidates. Oh, a fan giving him some stuff as well.
Gang violence and other kind of violence. So it is what it is.